Welcome, listeners and viewers, to Man Cave Media Network and the Down East Prep Report with Chris Miller, brought to you by Marine Federal Credit Union. I'm your host, Steve Goodson, and along with Chris, we're joined this week by a special guest, first-year head coach of Southwest Stallions, Zach Garvey. Zach, thanks for joining us.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And standout offensive and defensive lineman and multi-sports athlete, Cole Jarman. Cole, thank you for coming.
Yes, sir.
You got to talk now, son. You got to talk up.
Yes, sir.
And then, of course, another guest who probably is as valuable to Southwest High School as any of the football players, Preston Kelly, who was on Two Men to Six Pack a couple of weeks ago. But Preston does stats for Southwest. And anytime I can get Preston on this show, I'm going to get him on any show that we do because he knows his stuff.
So I appreciated him already because he keeps stats. And
that's exactly
all you
right.
Football coaches want to wait till Sunday to run huddle and get all those stats, and so I'm glad you guys are still sticking with old school.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's even got pen and paper. We don't even use the technology part.
Mm-hmm. That is awesome. That's awesome. So we're going to start by recapping last week's slate of games, which was the last regular season last week, and then we're going to give a quick update on last night's first round action of the boys soccer matchups because we do have Down East Prep Report FC edition now. And then we'll talk with Cole about his senior year and then talk with Zach about his first year as head coach. Then we'll roll into your breakdown. Mm-hmm. We got 5 area teams playing in first round and 3 or 4 that have buys this week. Is that right?
We have 5.
5 buys.
No, 4 buys and 5 teams playing.
Okay, all right.
Unfortunately, Swansboro was the odd man out.
Yeah, I'm gonna switch chairs. Behind us, we got this new little setup deal. Do you like that? I got White Oak brought me the helmet today, and then the other 3 helmets are yours. But we got a little setup there with helmets, and y'all can't see what's going on behind the curtain now. That's really put up for Sunday night during 2 minute 6 pack when Mike Irvin gets up during the middle of the show and starts eating food. So that's Preston's buddy, by the way. Him and Preston and Mike Irvin bonded.
I'm glad he's not here. We'd be arguing the whole time.
All right, so we'll get going. So Friday night lights are coming. It's local football, and it's all right here on the Down East Prep Report. And again, we want to thank our show sponsor, Marine Federal Credit Union. At Marine Federal, you're more than just a member. You're part of a community. With personalized service, competitive rates, and a commitment to your goals, Marine Federal is here to help you thrive every step of the way. Visit marinefederal.org to learn more and discover how Marine Federal Credit Union can help you build a better financial future. All right, so let's kick off the last week of last week, and we're going to go to the Player of the Week. And our Player of the Week, of course, is sponsored this season and continuing through. Are you going to do a Player of the Week during the playoffs?
Yeah, I think
okay.
So. We got to make the sponsor.
This is your show. I'm the host. You're the brains of the deal. So I'm just asking, man. So much like for the whole season, Jason Humphrey, Down East Heating and Air. Have been our sponsors, great sponsors, and we appreciate all their efforts. So last week's Player of the Week, final regular season game, Cannon McBride Jr., quarterback, Croatan High School. Cannon was on the show with Coach Gurley a month or so ago. They had a shootout. There wasn't much defense played in this game last Friday, but I wouldn't expect that with Dixon because Dixon kind of I don't know, 46-42. Croatan, he only threw the ball 12 times, which is not a lot for him. They must have Boucher must have run for a lot of yards.
Well, and Boucher had another good game as well. But we always like spreading it out. And Cannon's had a great season, and we've made Andrew Player of the Week a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So, but the cool thing, or the neat thing about Croatan was they were down multiple scores at halftime. And it looks like Dixon's going to come away with that win and spoil Crotan's chance to share a conference title. But Croatan back and forth in the fourth quarter, and they found a way to score late to hold on. So I had a feeling that game was going to be high scoring.
So he threw for 132 yards, 3 TDs, and he threw the winning, like you just said, the winning 35-yard touchdown pass to J.P. Bacali. with 1 minute left. So, and like you said, the win, along with Havelock beating Northside, created a three-way share. So they don't flip a coin anymore because it really doesn't matter, right?
And they don't meet at Arnold's anymore like they used to.
They used to, yeah, you'd be like, with
Draw straw.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
the
That was the place to be, wasn't it?
It was the place to be.
Arnold's in Richlands was the place where all the coaches would get together to do that coin flip or draw of a hat. So unfortunately,
they just got there so they could get a good cheeseburger. That's what that was about. So congratulations with to Cannon. Croton's got a bye this week, so they'll be in action next Friday. But again, congratulations to Cannon. And again, the Player of the Week is brought to you by Down East Heating and Air Conditioning. Down East Heating and Air, a family tradition of quality since 1986. With locations in Jacksonville, Wilmington, and the North Myrtle Beach areas, Down East is the #1 Bryant dealer of the Carolinas. Home, office, garage, man cave, and yes, even a basement. Down East has the perfect system to help you stay comfortable during the football season. Head over to downeastheating.com and let Down East put their talents to work for you. All right, man, so let's get into, we're going to recap last week's last regular season of the year, week 11 recap. So I'm just going to start with a little comment, and then you can comment back. All right, we got Havelock 19, Northside 7. Let's see. Turnovers doomed Northside as Havelock forced 7 takeaways to spoil the Monarchs' hopes of an outright coastal title. First of all, let me ask you this. Has Northside, what was their highest turnover total before?
I want to say 3, and maybe one of those was like a muff punt that you consider a turnover. But,
Yeah.
4 of those were interceptions, and credit Havelock's defense for doing what they needed to do. I anticipated maybe Northside came in maybe a little complacent a little bit and didn't pay attention to detail. But Havelock, playing at home, they wanted to play spoiler and get a little piece of the trophy themselves. So credit them. And look, Havelock seems that they've won 4 straight.
Yeah, 4 out of 5. And 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. So they've they're coming on strong when they need to.
Coach, can you ever remember a team turning the ball over 7 times and winning a game? I mean,
Name of the game is keeping ball control.
Yeah. That's just hard to overcome.
Hard to overcome.
Yeah, very hard to overcome.
So I'm sure that practice Monday at Northside wasn't too common.
Yeah, I saw Coach Pollock I spoke to him last night at the soccer game when I went, and he said they've had a good week of practice even though they're off. So, Jacksonville 34, White Oak 8. Amari Pearson, it seems like every week I'm saying this. Amari Pearson, Anthony Washington, each rushed for over 100 yards as Jacksonville clinched the outright Big Carolina 6A, 7A title and extended its dominance over White Oak. You wrote that. I don't like that, but that's okay. They extended dominance. They finished the season, conference and regular season, undefeated 9-0, and they ended up, which we'll get into it. Actually, we won't talk about them this week because they've got a bye. They ended up the number
1 seed in
the East.
So 6A East, and that game went pretty much what we expected. They were up 7-0 early, forced a fumble, took advantage of it. 5 minutes in, they're up 14-0. But Steve, you were there. I mean, and you met Josh Smith a month ago, and but now you got a chance to see how hard he plays.
Yeah, he's the real deal, man. I told Coach Bird came over this morning and brought that beautiful helmet that back there behind me. And I told Bird, I said, look, man, he's the real deal. I said, it's a shame that White Oak didn't have a better season. They're in the playoffs, so everybody's 0-0, right? And but I mean that kid's special, man. That kid's special.
And if you look at the score, it was 14-0. They scored, went up, got within 14-8, got a stop, and then had a long pass that was dropped. You complete that.
It hit the kid right in the worst place, the hands.
And if I'm a quarterback,
hit him right in the hands.
And the receiver comes back, and I'm like, my bad, man. I shouldn't have hit you in the hands.
But it was the same old same old for White Oak. They got behind the ball early. They ball early, and they would just try to play catch up. And against a lot of those other teams,
You can
do it against Jacksonville, man. It just wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
So So anyway, it was a good effort. You joked with Battle last week when he was here about what the score was going to be and shutting out South Lenore. Well, East Duplin 48, South Lenore 0. East Duplin exploded for 27 first quarter points and coasted to a shutout win, securing the outright East Central 3A 4A conference
It
title.
was you know what the halftime score was?
What was it?
27-0.
Oh, okay. So
I'm sure they probably caught off the dogs, a little early in the second quarter. Put some of the JV kids maybe in the second quarter, and then kind of refocus in the third.
Well, at that point, and Coach, you probably agree with this. I would assume. In fact, I was listening. Well, not necessarily this game, but I'll relate it to college. I was listening to some stuff about college football and the conference championships now, and they said, really, in fact, you and I were talking about this, I think, as well. They were picking on Notre Dame because Notre Dame doesn't have a conference championship game, and the way the structure is now with the college football playoff, conference championship games are becoming kind of okay. They're really not that important. The worst thing that can happen is somebody get hurt. Mm-hmm. And Friday night with Battle on them, they were up 20. They scored 27. Mm-hmm. Probably Battle's thinking, let's get our boys out. So
if you really look at the stats, Sean Davis probably only had 7 or 8 carries. So
that's So that's probably
sure
what happened. All right, let's move on. Croatan 46, Dixon 42. We talked about that. Croatan rally from a 14-point half deficit behind Cannon McBride's Lake's touchdown to J.P. Bacali, clinching a share of the title. So
good for Croatan. I mean, I think first time they've won some sort of conference title since that 21 spring season, and we talked to Coach Gurley about that, about how people kind of overlooked that because it was the spring season, but I still think that means a lot. But this one means a lot too. And look, 9-1, or finishing with just one loss. I mean, Croatan's gonna be pretty dangerous in the playoffs.
And the funny thing, we were talking on the soccer show Monday. Their team qualified for the soccer playoffs. They won last night, so they'll go to the second round. Mm-hmm. And I knew Cannon and Andrew Boucher both played soccer, but I didn't know that I knew Cannon was a good soccer player. I didn't know that Andrew Boucher was as good a soccer player as he was. I mean, basically what was said, what I took from it, and I'm not trying to put words in anybody's mouth, was that Croatan's best 2 soccer players are playing football. So, that's a testament to them. So anyway, it's a testament to those guys, but it's also a testament to Paul Slater and Croatan Soccer, who are still plugging away and are in the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah, against Richlands on Thursday.
We'll get to that. Speaking of Richlands beat Swansboro 14-10. Daryl Jackson's 2 touchdowns helped Richlands earn a gritty comeback win over Swansboro for victory number 2 in a row. So Richlands is peaking during playoff time.
Well, and that pretty much was the playing game, because the winner of that.
Okay, so the winner of that game was going to make the playoffs.
Would make the playoffs because, like I said, Swansboro was the only team in the area in Onslow County not getting in. So that was pretty much the playing game.
So even though they would have gone into separate.
It could have been. I'm still thinking that Richlands and Swans. But I think I think the winner of that game got in, and the loser would have gone home.
Okay, all right, cool. Coach, sorry about this, man. Clinton 21, Southwest 3. Clinton's ground game overpowered Southwest, who could only manage a first quarter field goal in the East Central matchup. I don't write them, man.
The score is what the score is.
But it was 7-3, wasn't it?
It was 7-3, and we got up, scored a touchdown, and got called back, and
that was kind of there.
It was a point in the game where if we get that touchdown, the energy shifts, and they were already kind of a little, I ain't gonna say subdued, but you could see the helter skelter from our defense putting the pressure on them. There were some stops early on that kind of got them on their heels, and you live in that realm of what if you think about it, but. The film, I still can't figure out where the flag was, but the film is the film, and it's the past in the past.
Hey, man, move on, and you're in the playoffs. And like I said, everybody's 0-0. Last game, Southside 27, Lejeune 6. Despite a late push, Lejeune couldn't keep pace with Southside. Pulled away in the fourth quarter to hand the Devil Pups another tough loss. But they are scoring.
They are scoring.
And
that quarterback and receiver duo is I mean, they're not bad.
Are both of them juniors?
Yes, they're both juniors.
Okay, so they'll be back next year, and so we will be seeing a lot.
Well, the
of
quarterback, Happy, is a sophomore.
Oh, is he? Well, the thing about that is they may be scheduled to be back,
Yeah.
but their daggone daddies or mamas may get orders to go somewhere, so you just don't know. So, yeah, so we'll see. All right, so we're going to morph into rapid fire.
Okay.
So these are questions I'm going to ask him. You guys obviously can chime in any way, shape, or form that y'all want to. There's no exclusivity to this. Later on, I got some exclusive rapid fire for you, and I got some exclusive rapid fire for you. So here we go. Is McBride quietly becoming the most clutch QB in that conference?
I would say yes, because he doesn't make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah. The 7 turnovers, and not nitpicking, the 7 turnovers that Northside had, were they fumbles, interceptions?
No, 4 of them were picks, and I think 1 or 2 might have been maybe a deflection.
That's the first. This is the first week though that really Gray is. Gray has he thrown a lot of interceptions?
No, I think he only had like maybe 3
Yeah.
going into the season, and a couple of those were just maybe you're throwing the ball deep and go for 1-on-1, and the defensive back just makes a play. So
Okay.
But again, credit Havelock.
Okay. Which stat jumps out more? Stat man. Which stat jumps out more? Boucher's 184 yards or JJ Gallette's 253 yards?
You still got to go with JJ.
Yeah.
I mean, even though the offense, he's a great player. Let's not take anything away from him, but the offense does benefit him, but he produces.
Yeah.
I mean, it just seems like he does that every single Friday night.
Every
50
Friday.
is like a regular
Well,
for him.
he's got a big Friday night coming, and
Yeah,
we'll
does.
tell you, we'll touch on that a little bit. How important was the early 14-0 start for Jacksonville in keeping White Oak off balance?
I think it was important. I mean, Jacksonville was the better team, so I think had they been 7-7 or 8-7, Jacksonville would have ended up pulling away, but it didn't hurt going up 14-0.
Well, it hurt that they scored a touchdown, 7-0, and then White Oak turned the ball over and gave them a short. I mean, it was inside the
40-yard line.
Yeah, short field. So that didn't. And you just can't do that with both teams, man. I'm just telling you, you just can't do it. So as the Cardinals' offense becoming even more dangerous when Washington has dual threat ability.
I mean, they need to be able to throw the ball and complete it consistently to make a run in the playoffs. When they are able to complete some third down passes, that helps, and that has led to some scoring drives. But I think the key will be all these teams are going to start focusing on Pearson.
Yeah.
So Benton and some of the other running backs are going to have to step up, because sometimes you do notice a little bit of a drop down. There's been times where he's been taken out because he's got banged up or needs to catch his breath, and the offense kind of takes a step back. So if you're Jacksonville, you want to see that level of production stay at a high level, no matter who's carrying the ball.
Yeah, and I will say that and it's not an Achilles heel, but I told you this, and I told somebody this weekend, Jacksonville has got to get a little more consistent in the passing game.
Yeah. And I'll say this though, Saron Thompson.
Yeah, he's
a good receiver.
Yeah, now he's come along. In fact, he made it into the top 10 or so for the final area standings in receiving. But I think Jacksonville's needs to be maybe a little more consistent throwing the ball in order to keep that balance. East Duplin, who had the easier night, the scoreboard operator or the backup quarterback?
I would say the backup quarterback, because all you have to do is just hand the ball off.
Yeah.
And just credit East Duplin again. I knew that game was going to be the way.
Yeah, you had mentioned that. What has sparked this late season turnaround for Richlands?
I think a part of it, that was a big win over Dixon. So I think they do have some experienced players that were on some of those teams that were very competitive the last couple of years. And I think a part of it, like I said, that was a playing game.
Defense, the defense has shown up pretty much all year, right?
Yeah, they've had a good defense the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But I think they had a lot of momentum beating Dixon.
Yeah. Y'all played Richlands, was it the first game of the season?
Yep.
Have you, I don't know, you've been following them because you got your own stuff going on, but have you seen? I mean, have you just by kind of watching? Do you think they've progressed over?
They have,
over
and
season?
I think that the the thing that got them early on was the acclimation period, and same thing, Coach Good and I talk quite often, and just that acclimation that first year. But his defense has been his defense all year. But when you look at who they've played, I mean,
Yeah.
you got quite a gauntlet there, and I think Dixon probably went into that game overlooking them, and I think Richlands kind of had a point to prove, and once they saw they could prove it, I think they, like you said, it rolled them in, and I think they're going to be okay. I think they're going to give Havelock a little bit of a run for the money.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Yeah. I mean, beating somebody, you always say you play somebody 3 times, but beating somebody a second time, we'll see what happens. Richlands, louder reaction from the crowd after Jackson's go-ahead TD or after the defense's final stop?
I was a final stop. And,
Yeah.
of course, the cool thing about Richlands is whenever they score a touchdown at their home games,
Is it
that cannon.
Yeah, that cannon goes off. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Did turnovers overshadow what was otherwise a solid defensive effort by Northside?
I think it did. I mean, because if you don't turn the ball over, you probably score at least one other touchdown, and so I think those turnovers were a big difference in that game.
All right. What can Southwest do to generate a little more offense heading into this week?
Their head coach needs to beat everybody up. How about that? And he can probably do it too.
He will.
Yeah.
He will.
Any thoughts, Coach, about talk a little, because I'm going to ask you some Q&A stuff, but I don't know that we're going to get into your players. You got it's a sophomore or junior running back?
So we've got a
couple guys.
Got a couple guys.
Okay.
Got a couple guys that are young in the backfield right now. With Jabri Williams kind of up in the air as far as playing on Friday.
Yeah.
He's the one-legged wonder. Last week he'd hobble in and he'd jump out. And so with him out, you've got a lot of young guys in the backfield. I think we've got one senior running the ball right now.
All right.
So that's kind of a hint.
And your quarterback is
he's a junior. Both quarterbacks are.
Okay, you got
juniors.
two quarterbacks too. Okay.
One of them is Ton.
One of them's Ton, and then the other one's Davion.
Okay, so that was so Ton is a quarterback, not a running back.
Well, he is a running back.
You just put him back there and put the ball in his hand.
Ton is just an athlete.
He's an athlete.
He's an athlete.
All right. Okay, good deal. Did Clinton's physicality in the trenches make a big difference last week?
Did Clinton's physicality in the trenches make a difference?
Well, the quarterback, it was the key to their offense.
Was it really?
They were a physical team, but man, their speed with number 2 and number 3, and the timing of the quarterback, and just the ability. A lot of strength there, and the good thing for them is they are young as well.
Are they really?
Yes.
So this will be interesting. Y'all played White Oak? Mm-hmm. What did you think of their quarterback?
So that was the game plan all week. It's very similar. Anybody you talk to, Josh Smith is the guy.
Yeah.
In any other place, you give Jimenez the ball, he's the guy.
Yeah.
But when you got Josh Smith back there, that's the dude.
He amazed me Friday night or Thursday night. There was just some play. I mean,
he just makes plays.
He was dead to rights, man. Jacksonville had him hemmed up and pinned in, and the next thing you know, man, he was like.
What was it? You talk about stat lines. Was it D.H. Conley where he had like a 300-yard rushing game, a 200-yard passing game, and they lost?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
He reminds me, and I hate to say it because the guy bombed out or whatever you want to say it. Reminds me of Johnny Manziel, man. The way he just gets around and does stuff. And that's Josh. If you listen or you're gonna listen later, if you don't like Johnny Manziel, I'm sorry, buddy. I ain't trying to slap you or anything. But anyway.
And speaking of Josh, before the game on Thursday against Jacksonville, look, it's a rivalry game. Kids on both teams are pumped up. They're focused. But he sees me walking the 50-yard line, and he comes over and says, "Hey, Mr. Chris, just want to say hi." And,
yeah, he's just a great kid, man. He's a great kid. All right, last rapid fire. How much progress has Lejeune shown despite the finals during the season, despite the final score?
I mean, they're continuing to get better, and like I said, the Haffey McInnes duo is hate to be nasty, but that's kind of all they have at the moment. They continue to play hard, and look, I remember years when before that group came in a few years ago, where Lejeune would lose every game 50-0.
Yeah,
so they're scoring. Yeah, I know people are going to laugh at that. Well, but they're scoring and they're playing hard and they're being competitive.
You play who you play, man. I mean, that's what you do, right? All right, man. This recap brought to you by SIA Group. For more than 50 years, SIA Group has provided protection beyond insurance, helping families, businesses, and communities preserve what matters most. They believe insurance isn't just about policy, it's about people. That's why the SIA Group is committed to supporting local businesses and giving back to the communities they serve. Learn more at siagroup.com/prep report. Last time during the regular season, I'll say it, but siagroup.com/prep report. If you're listening, watching now, later, go to that. They're not trying to get your phone number, get your email address. They're just trying to see who's watching this show, because we're going to hit them up for some more money in the winter, for the winter show, and we want them to see that people are watching. And all it does is it asks you what team you pulling for. So they're not trying to sell you anything. They're just trying to justify giving us money to have this show. So anyway, go there and sign up. So speaking of stats, let's take a look at. This is the final regular season stats as they present themselves. So we see passing. Reginald Gray ended up just shy of 2,000 yards with 22 touchdowns. There's Cannon coming in second, just over 1,500, 26 touchdowns. Kevin Till, great kid. We've had him on the show. Great kid for Swansboro. I hate that that their season didn't continue on. Little short of 1,400 yards. The Richlands kid has moved up progressively the last month of the season and finishes fourth in the area in passing over 1,200 yards. There's Josh Smith, and you'll see Josh's name, interesting enough, on the passing and the rushing. And if he could throw it to himself, he'd be on the receiving too, probably. But Josh threw for just short of 1,200 yards, 14 TDs. Eddie DePalia from Liberty in Richlands, and we're going to talk about Liberty later on. They got a big game this weekend as well. Washington, Jacksonville, and there is Mahaffey from Lejeune, and that rounds out the passing leaders. J.J. Gallant, Dixon, 2,709 yards, 33 TDs. Guys, he has a legit chance to go for over 3,000 yards this week.
And I think they have a chance to do it. They're playing Rockingham County, which is 5-4. So you never know with these non-local teams. So he may have a chance to do it.
So probably if he can get 3,000 yards, because he lines up in the quarterback position, right? Well,
he lines up in the quarterback position. Yes.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying. So his season stats would be 3,000 yards and total offensive 3,100 yards probably, because he probably hadn't thrown for 100 yards all season anyway. But hey, they know who he is, right? I mean, and they know who they are. So there's Amari Pearson, just short of 1,500 yards, 24 touchdowns. Boucher from Croatown, we talked about him, 1,343 yards, 23 touchdowns. There's Josh again. With 10 touchdowns and 1,164 yards. Another Dixon guy, Sean Delaney, who had, for all accounts, 1,100 yards and 11 touchdowns. That's a great season. Mm-hmm. Jimenez from White Oak, over 1,000 with 6 TDs. And rounded out Anderson, Davis, DePalia again, Hall, Potting, and Benton. And your guys, just to let you know, you had two guys that were just off this list. Two guys that just missed the list. We had someone just say, who was that? Just said Jay Reeves. Is that Jay Reeves? Jay Reeves has just said Pearson with only 125 carries. That's insane. Yeah, that is kind of crazy, isn't it? Only 125 carries. So. Yeah, so getting into the receiving, Davis has led the county or the area all season long. I thought he was going to top 1,000 yards, but
I'm sure he'll do it maybe this game or or the second playoff game if they get that far. So
8 touchdowns. Beasley from Swansboro, we had his dad and on with Coach Beasley, along with Kevin Till. A couple weeks ago, he finished second in the area. The McKinnis kid from Lejeune makes his way up to third. Another Swansboro kid. So you can definitely see the pattern here. Who throws the ball? Who runs the ball? Boucher is also coming in as a top 10 10 receiver. And there you said Saron Thompson, he made his way up. He wasn't in the top 15 before the last 2 weeks because we were doing these every 2 weeks. So
we were doing this every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But if you look at the stats, Davis, receiver-wise, is the only one that has a very high yards per reception. Look at all the other guys.
Well, you know,
And
and I've told you about this, man. You need to break that stuff out for me, or maybe Preston can. I want to know the yards per carry and all that stuff. You just give me this. I ain't got time to figure that stuff out.
You know, we don't deal with fuzzy math on this show, do we?
Preston, I may have to talk to you about some internship stuff coming over. And look, by the way, y'all hadn't seen her yet because she's off camera, but the mascot has just rolled in, and her name is Millie, and she's walking off. So,
my point was,
go ahead.
That, I mean, other than Davis, and a lot of his stuff is, a couple of his stuff is the short passes, but he's a big play passing or receiving threat. But all these other guys, not saying that they're not, but a lot of these guys are getting, you know, I don't want to say, I was about to say 6, 7, 7, 8 yards per reception.
Yeah.
But whereas, you know, Davis is kind of, his average per catch is a little bit more than that. So it's not like these guys are getting 40
Do you
yards
think, and full disclosure, I don't know, are they throwing the ball down the field more, or is the yak the yard after catch?
I think it's a combination of both.
Okay.
Because he does have those little dink catches that he does, little screen passes that are basically runs, but you count them as receptions.
Yeah.
So, but I think but he does have quite a few different 20, 30 yard. Catches.
Doesn't have blazing speed, but he's not he's not ultra.
He's not ultra fast,
Yeah.
but he'll go up there and he'll catch the ball deep and then take a hit and hold on to the ball
and keep running. Your daddy says that you got homework that he don't know that you can help.
My
help.
daddy?
Yeah, your daddy. Yeah.
Well, how about my daddy gets back to work? Okay.
And we do want to shout out Lee Barrows. She's listening to.
Yeah, Lee Barry. She's always a good follower and listener from us. So we appreciate it. So any last thoughts about the area recap? That's for the season.
Yep, that's for the season. So
All right.
We'll see how these guys do in the playoffs.
All right. Well, now let's get to the fun part. We're going to interview you guys. Cole, you up first. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. It's a Southwest senior lineman and baseball standout. Cole Jarman is a leader on and off the field and has been a driving force for the Stallions this season, helping guide the team back to the state playoffs under first-year head coach Zach Garvey. And when football season ends, he trades his pads for a bat and a glove, where he's one of the top hitters and pitchers in the area. Cole, thank you for joining us today.
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to have some 5 or 6 questions, and then I'm going to have some fun stuff, rapid fire. So let me make a little change here real quick, and we'll get to it. All right, so here we go. So you guys finished 2-7, but you made the playoffs and are the number 22 seed. How would you describe the journey of this season and what it's meant to you as a senior?
Well, it's been a grind this year.
Yes, sir.
The atmosphere in the locker room is very good. We got a great team. I wouldn't trade it for nothing. I know the record don't show it sometimes, but it's just been one heck of a senior ride, and we plan to make a run in the playoffs. And it's been one heck of a ride.
Good deal. And there she is. She's appeared, and she will be in the picture, the show. If people are not dog lovers, don't watch this show because you're going to see her, despite whatever. All right, isn't that right, Millie? All right, so you're heading to face number 11 Southwest ESCO in the first round. What's the mindset of you guys and the players going into this, Chris has said it, this Southwest versus Southwest matchup?
Southwest Bowl.
Southwest Bowl,
Southwest
yeah.
Bowl. The mindset is to go in and take care of business. We're going in to do some damage. We plan on moving the ball a little bit more than what we have been, and just taking care of business.
And you play offensive guard as well, right?
Yes, sir. That's right.
Yeah. So, as a former offensive lineman as well, tackle, I appreciate what you do, man. I know the coach probably tells you. And stat man probably don't tell you, but stat man might tell you.
Of course I tell him.
Okay, all right, but I'm just gonna tell you, I appreciate what you do.
Yes, sir.
Nobody knows what you do, but they know what you don't do.
That's right. That's right.
That's right. So anyway, So this was Coach Garvey's first year. What kind of energy and message has he brought to the team?
Well, his first year was my freshman year, so I've been with him.
Well, yes. So let me correct. Head JV coach for 3 years, and then this year head varsity coach. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
So he's been with me since my whole career. So we have a really good relationship, and the energy he brought in was just great. The atmosphere he brought in, and we work hard, and I don't even know how to explain it. It's just a really good atmosphere at Southwest.
Good. I love to hear that, man. You've been one of the leaders on the team this season. What's been your focus in setting the tone for the younger guys?
I try to show them the way, try to show them a good example, try my best. And we got some really good underclassmen. I think next year we can turn this program around, get it rolling. And we got some really hard workers, really hard workers on the underclassmen.
Cool. You know, you talked about it a minute ago when you were answering another question, but the team's record doesn't always tell the full story, right? Where have you, and it's going to be interesting because I think I've got this for Coach too, where have you seen the biggest growth or improvement from week one to now, or even before week one during August practice to now? Was that a tough one?
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Is that because there's been so much growth everywhere, or
we've really, this team really bonded well. Last year, our team, it was a little bit toxic, a little bit.
Okay.
This team is just, we're so bonded. It's just a very great atmosphere again.
You guys hang out off the field?
Oh yeah, we hang out off the field. It's not like there's groups. There's not groups of people. We're all one. We're all
awesome.
one team.
Yeah, that's awesome. That makes a difference, man. You're a standout baseball player, hitting over 400 and dominating on the mound last season. How does being a two-sport athlete help you on the football field? Or does it help you on the football field?
Well, I think it helps me with facing adversity.
Okay.
There's a lot of adversity in baseball, especially pitching.
Yeah.
And I think it helps my mental state. I think it helps if I miss a block. We have a slogan, we call it next play in baseball. And it just, all right, we gotta turn this around, we gotta keep going. You can't dwell on something. I think that helps a lot.
Oh, you got it on the back of your hat.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, how about that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and like I said, man, nobody sees what you do.
That's right.
They see what you don't do.
Right.
So that's a great philosophy. And I'll just tell you, and this, I'm not casting shade at anybody because I'm not going to call anybody out, but there's a fine line between being a good player and a great player, or even an average player and a good player. And a lot of times it's because you sometimes are a mental midget, and you're not able to get over, the next play.
That's right.
You're not able to move on. So as a senior, what does representing Southwest Onslow mean to you personally, both in football and baseball?
It means everything to me because I love Southwest. I grew up around it. My dad went to Southwest, and when I was younger, because my dad was a coach for 10 years, and I grew up with watching Derek Green and Jacoby Johnson and all those guys, and they kind of showed me the way, like how it's supposed to be done.
Yeah.
So it's just I have so much passion for Southwest, and they kind of led the way for me, and I try to show the example that they showed me to the underclassmen. That's what I try to do.
You got a question?
No. Who do you not want to make mad more? Coach Cole Jarman or Coach Garvey?
That's a tough one.
That is a tough one, isn't it, bud?
I don't want to make Coach Garvey mad. He might not. But I'll make my dad mad. I'm going to hear it at home.
That's right. So, look, what's still got football season left, maybe several weeks left in football, but then you'll have baseball after that. So what's next for you, man, after high school?
Well, I plan to go to the Southeastern Community College.
Is that in Whiteville?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I plan to go there. I'm going to try to get a 2-year degree for an electrical program. or machinery, and I'm gonna try my best to get hired on at GE. That's the plan. Mm-hmm. That's where I want.
You gonna play? They got a pretty good baseball team,
Yes,
don't
sir.
they? Yeah. Okay. Good deal. All right.
And I got one more thing for
All right.
Cole. Is probably a stupid question, but I mean, does it playing another school called Southwest, does that kind of motivate you, or are they just another team?
It does motivate me a little bit. It does, but they're just the next team on the chopping block for me.
Next
Now
one up.
Now the difference is Southwest Edgecombe capitalizes their W.
Oh, do they?
They do. So I think the loser of this game has to adopt.
All right, man. This is on you. Rapid fire. So these are one-word answers or just quick answers. So, funniest guy on the team.
Price Corbett,
What position?
right tackle.
Right tackle. Okay. Who gives the best pregame speech? Coach Garvey or one of the players?
Coach Garvey.
Favorite football memory at the corral? Because you will unless something weird happens, if you guys keep progressing, you played your last home football game most likely.
That's right.
Yeah. Favorite memory playing at the corral in football?
Probably beating Goldsboro last year. That was good.
All right. Better feeling. Striking out a batter with the bases loaded, stuffing a running back on 4th and 1, or executing the perfect pancake block, knowing that you can watch it later on Huddle. Which one?
I'm gonna have to go with striking out.
I figured
out the guy with bases loaded.
Yeah. Your one walkout song that plays before kickoff, not baseball when you're going out. What would your walkout song be before kickoff?
Hell's Bells.
Hell's Bells. This man right here, we need to fight. He don't like Welcome to the Jungle. He don't like
Inner Sandman.
No,
I love Inner Sandman. I love it down.
okay. He's
anything AC/DC and anything Guns N'
Good,
Roses.
right, yeah, he's. I told him, I was like, he and I's this little partnership may have to be next. Anyway,
Bon Jovi.
Yeah,
It's the decade difference.
that's right. That's right. If you could take one teammate with you to a deserted island, who would it be? That's the first question. Who would it be? Because I'm gonna make you answer this one before I ask you the second part of that.
Price Corbett, probably.
All right. Who would survive the longest on the desert island?
Me, definitely.
Okay. All right. Favorite post-game meal after a game?
Chicken quesadilla tray from Cookout.
All right. Who's the toughest player that you've played against in football so far in your career? Or maybe toughest person to tackle or whatever?
Probably Deshaun kid from East Duplin. I don't know his last name. The kid from East Duplin.
Okay. Sean Davis.
Sean Davis.
Yeah.
Sean
Number
Davis.
39.
39.
All right. One word to describe Southwest Stallion football.
That's a tough one. Gritty.
Gritty. I like it. We got Gritty Monday doing the soccer thing, didn't we?
We did.
Gritty. All right. But that's awesome. Before I pop to you, we're going to have a soccer update. I was supposed to do that before I talked to him, but I messed up. So real quick, we're going to have I got to give my sponsors props there. So Warlick and Roger Carroll at Southern Touch Painting. So I got some notes. You tell me if I'm right or not. 6A playoffs. Number 15 White Oak defeated number 18 Southeast Guilford 1-0 and will take on crosstown rival and Big Carolina 6A 7-8 conference champ number 2 seed Jacksonville Cardinals, who had a bye in round 1, and they will play on Thursday. Have they set the date yet?
Thursday at 6 p.m.
Any thoughts on that?
El Clasico Part 3.
Part 3. That'll be interesting. 5A, number 3 seed Richlands had a bye first round, and now will host the number 19 seed and conference foe Croatan, another conference foe.
Both those games were competitive.
Yeah, and on Thursday, Croatan blanked South Brunswick 4-0. Thoughts?
Yeah, like I said, both games were Croatan. they were competitive.
Yeah.
So I think Richlands won't overlook them, but in Croton, like we said the other day, is a dangerous team.
Yeah. Number 6 seed Dixon, first round bye, and they will host the number 11 seed Wilson Fike. Fike defeated number 22 Eastern Alamance 3-0.
And you know what I said about Wilson County schools?
Yeah,
against
Wilson. Yeah. Wilson schools hate they love beating Onslow County schools in soccer. Gray got knocked out of the playoffs 2 years in a row by Wilson Hunt. So so they love coming down here and playing us or us going up there. Number 9 seed Northside defeated South Granville 6-0. We'd like to congratulate the Monarchs, and Coach Derek Yates. That's the school's first playoff victory in history.
Playoff victory, yep.
Yeah.
They were pretty stoked about that, and talked to 3 or 4 of those guys yesterday after the game, and it meant a lot to those guys.
Okay. And they'll travel to St. Paul's.
And that's a game that they can win.
The number 8 seed. And all these games I'm talking about, they'll either be played on Thursday or Friday night or Friday or Thursday, Friday. Okay.
Yeah, don't get me started on soccer games being played Friday.
I know you because Chris Miller, they can't clone Chris Miller. He can't be one place at one time. Number 19 seed Swansboro came up a little bit short and falling to West Brunswick 2-1. So Swansboro ends their season with a first round defeat. In the 4A bracket, it just seems so weird to say 4A. 4A and Southwest.
Southwest
dude. I mean, that's.
If I could tell you, if I could put in a picture of the people's faces when I told them we were going to be 4A, a guy that hadn't been back home in 10 years said, "We've gotten that big."
Yeah.
I said, "No, man."
Yeah, that's what happened. Like Phil Paget said several years ago. That's what happens when you build a Walmart in South Carolina.
Number 20 seed Southwest traveled to Graham and returned home with a victory, winning 4-0. Next up for the Stallions, a trip to up Highway 17 to Little Washington and the number 4 seed Pampack.
Yeah, and didn't I call Southwest winning that game?
Yeah,
So-
you did call it Monday. So good call. Let's see. Number 7 East Duplin had a bye. They will host number 10 Carborough. In second round, Carborough defeated Southwest Edgecombe, so let's hope they ain't too mad. They not ruled them. I guess it's goal ruled them. I guess they beat them. Mercy ruled them 9-0. They go 9-0. So East Duplin's Duplin's good, but that 7-10 matchup is always an interesting matchup. So and finally in the 2A bracket, number 3 seed Lejeune by first round, and they will host number 7 seed East Wake Academy. In the second round, East Wake beat conference foe for Lejeune, East Carteret, 7-0. Yeah. So, any other additional comments about that?
I mean, that White Oak Jacksonville game is going to be a good game. It was a 2-1 game the second time they played each other.
Yeah.
So, White Oak's going to go in pretty confident, and Jacksonville's going to, we'll see how they do.
Well, I know that because I went to the first half of the Northside game, then I popped over on the way home and went over and watched White Oak play the rest of their game. And there was many Jacksonville people over there scouting out, as there was White Oak fans watching the game. So not that they don't know what White Oak's going to do, but I guess they were potentially seeing about Southeast Edgecombe or Southeast Guilford. But anyway, yeah, it'll be a battle. It always is. Just like Southwest don't like Ridgelands, White Oak don't like Jacksonville, and that's just how it is. Well, I tell everybody where they play, my son felt the same way. Whether we were playing Tiddlywinks or whatever, man, it was White Oak Jacksonville. That's how it is.
I'm sure there's going to be some chirping.
Yeah, there will be. So anyway, and I don't even remember, but Joey was talking about, you made that comment on Monday's show about them boys cutting their hair red or dyeing their hair red and green, and Joey said no, all those boys had put perms in their hair. I saw about 10 of them last night, and they all got put perms in their hair. So anyway, all right, let's move on to some serious stuff. Serious stuff besides perms. So joining us today is Southwest Onslow's head coach, Zach Garvey, former Stallion captain and 2012 state champion.
Yes, sir.
In his first season, he's led the Stallions to a 2-7 record and into the 4A playoffs as the number 22 seed, and they'll take on the number 11 seed Southwest Edgecombe, and we're going to talk about rebuilding and lessons learned and playoff goals and things like that. So, Coach, thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
man.
thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, first off, man, congratulations on finishing your first varsity season as head coach at your alma mater. What has this first year meant to you personally?
Well, it's just been a great thing. And I mean, I was talking about this somebody the other day. It's a very rare feeling to be able to come back and take over your high school program. And to move into PE from teaching in a science classroom it's all been a great blessing. But to be able to come in and be in the school for the last 3 years and watch that freshman class grow and then it be your first senior class was also your first freshman class is really special, and it's just been really great. It's fulfilling, and I'm a firm believer that everything's forged through fire, and it's been a forged through fire year, and lessons learned for my sake, coaching, and players as well.
That's awesome, man. So you've compared rebuilding this program to preparing a cornfield. Now we're gonna have there ain't gonna be but a few of us because I grew up in the country now, but there ain't gonna be some of these people that live in the city. They may not get this, but clearing the roots, laying the foundation. What does that process look like for this team right now?
Well, and to understand that analogy is like I explained to some of the guys, because some of those guys don't. They know they like corn when they're eating, but they don't know how it grows.
They just think it shows up on the top. Yeah, it just pops up out of nowhere.
And I just told them, when you buy a piece of land, and you know what you buy, you know what you get, and the ground is ready, but you got to do the prep work. You don't just go out and throw the seed out, and all of a sudden, man, overnight you got a great acreage of corn. You got to put the prep work into the ground, and a lot of times people overlook the soil aspect. And when you're building a football program, I think a lot of people just focus on the win-loss column. And if you got superior athletes, you can win. But I never wanted to take over a program, never wanted to run anything and just get an immediate, and we're in the age of instant gratification.
Yep.
What's a winning football season like if when they graduate high school they don't win in life? And so you got to kind of put that soil work in. You got to put that prep work in, and sometimes that negates maybe some drill work, but you got to get them to understand why you got to do the prep work.
Great analogy, man. Great analogy. So you finished 2-7. But there's been clear growth in energy during. Yes. What kind of progress have you seen beyond the win-loss column this year?
Well, we've got a bunch of guys who, didn't finish last year. Very similar season last year as far as record goes. Similar as far as score goes. Not being able to move the ball, and maybe the scoreboard not being in our favor. But we hadn't had a single guy quit. Monday practices, we got a really good attitude coming in. I don't think anybody's had that look on their face of phasing out when you talk about, all right, we got Clinton this week, and everybody's got a cellular device. They can get on Max Preps and see that Clinton put up 40 and 50 and 40 and 50, and Southwest went into overtime with South Lenore,
yep.
And that's a mindset shift. That's the soil work, growing that mindset through adversity.
Yeah, great.
And we're getting a lesson on composting, aren't we?
Yeah. So you were part of the 2012 state championship team as a senior captain. What piece of that championship DNA are you trying to bring as the head coach?
So, I'm a player from Padgett, and Coach Padgett was a man of many great things and just a great man overall. But I think to me, it's bringing back an attitude of toughness, and a win's a win. And that was kind of the great embodiment of that has been both of our wins. We've now Trask, we led the whole game.
Yeah.
But we did a mistake there at the end that kind of got them back into it defensively, and just let them kind of shoot the gap, and they got down and got it tied up right there for halftime. And that toughness of, all right, this is still our ball game, And then going to South Lenore, I think we overlooked them a little bit. As much as we tried to keep ourselves, we were excited about the first win, excited about everything going right, and I think there was a little bit of air of it's just going to happen now. We got it off our back, and now things are going to start going our way. And, that's growth as well, because that's confidence. But you got to know how to kind of bridle that confidence and put it into your legs, like I tell them, and work with it, and not put it in your mind. And so, we fought through the South Lenore adversity in itself and go to Clinton and hold them to 21 points,
That's all. Yeah, that's great, man. So you're heading into this game, and you the last time they met was in 2017, and Southwest Onslow came out the winner. How are you preparing your team for this challenge? It's a challenge. You're a higher seed, lower seed, whatever you want to call it, but very similar records.
Well, Edgecombe is 5-5.
5-5, okay, and 2-7. So talk about this week's preparation and and what you're doing and just the challenge that you guys are going to face
so each
Friday.
week, I think each week we've and the boys will probably mirror it. Our adversity is Southwest. We've got good athletes, we've got good technique, we've got good stuff, and so no matter who we're playing, we've got to focus on what we do, and not so much worry about what they do. And so this week is no different. The great thing about this week is everybody, like you said, is 0-0.
Yep.
And it's for your seniors now more than ever. It's you're at the edge of the canyon and you're looking down, and you either keep going forward or it's time to move on to basketball and wrestling.
So you said in other interviews, the little things matter. How big will discipline and red zone execution be against a physical team like Southwest Edgecombe?
Well, the red zone execution, I mean, if we get that down in a couple of games, we're probably sitting at a different game this week.
I was going to ask you guys probably, I don't know if Statman here looks at it, but it seems like teams that have and this is, people are going to say, I'm stating the obvious, but teams that have a higher percentage in the red zone tend obviously to do better, obviously in the wins, and that's I guess that's the I'm Captain Obvious, Obvious, right?
Yeah.
But red zone execution and
that's kind of
getting touchdowns instead of field goals.
Coincidentally, that's one of the things when we talk as a staff. It's this year going in, switching from a historically run-heavy wing tee, that's our bread and butter offense, and switching into this spread that we're running, it's a learning year, and if you look at anybody that switches into the spread that first year, it's especially if you go from wing tee blocking mechanisms to zone blocking, it is a giant jump. And, so when you're in the spread, the worst thing you can do in a spread is lose space. And when you get into that red zone, that's the hardest part of the spread because the space is the goal line.
Yeah, it's getting compacted.
So that's the adjustment for us. That's the adjustment for us coaching. We've got to do a better job of getting in that end zone and executing the where we need to be. And the guys have got to also get the motor going. Hey, we're inside the red zone. We're going to score. That's the mindset shift. Like I tell them on
and
defense,
not just score, but score a touchdown.
Score a touchdown. Field goal doesn't need to be. That's extra point and 2 point.
Yeah.
And it's like on defense. I tell them we get on third and short. It's not a matter of if we're going to stop them. We're going to stop them on third and short. Or third and long, and we're going to force them to punt the ball.
All right. Last serious question. Last before rapid fire. When you talk about getting back to Stallion football, what does that mean to you and your community? Because I'm just going to tell you, boys, growing up here, ain't nothing like Southwest Nation now. I mean, I live in White Oak side of town, but there's something about that crowd over there near Hall's Run and back towards the school, man. Y'all, they bleed orange and black. So talk a little bit about that, man.
Well, it's everybody used to use us as a measuring stick, you know, and I can remember, and again, I tell the boys all the time, I'm Southwest arrogant. I always, when I first came back to coach and Charlie got me back, I would always watch this film, and I would watch it through the lens of how we played and how I played and how the guys that I grew up watching played, and you got to kind of temper that. But staying football is his mindset. It's knowing that you're going to go get a good game. And it may not be like a South Lenore 48-0 win. That's a good game for winning.
Yeah.
But that ain't a good game. A good game is those old, slobber knockers with Rich Lands and 7-6 ball games and 14-7 ball games. And you get everybody on the edge of their seat and they're ready to come watch it again on Friday, and they wake up Saturday and they're trying to figure out when and where you play again because they want to go watch it.
Yeah, and that's a great point. But that's a great point. And something you said that I'm you said something about watching game film and kind of tempering it based on. But man, when you guys have had the success you had, I don't think it's a bad thing to use that as a measuring stick.
No, not at all.
Because that sets the stage. That's the standard. That becomes the standard.
That is the standard, and that's the thing. Getting through to these guys, And it's about how you play. It's not what you play. It's not what you run. It's how you play the game. It's I think you said it earlier where that adversity, the next play is that mindset of everybody in the world right now has something in their eyes that they can use as an excuse of why they didn't this, that, and the other. But somebody's going to just do it.
That's right. That's right. You got something? You got a before the rapid fire?
Well, I remember your senior year, I did that story on article on you, and your coach was a mean son of a gun. We went to a practice one day, and you probably remember this. He was an offensive lineman, and the play was still going on, but it was about 10, 15 yards away, and this poor scout guy just was in the way, and Zach just blows him over because the play. It wasn't a dirty play, but it was just
football.
It was football. And
well, it's funny you talk about it because I don't talk about myself much because I'm just nobody cares about what you got to say about yourself, And so I always tell these guys, and after I think it was Croatan, man, I went through it, because I've never had my butt whooped that bad, and that was a butt whooping against a very good team nonetheless, but we could have done better. But I just really was going through it that weekend. And I finally was sitting there. My wife says, "What are you just hanging?" I said, "I can't figure it out." She goes, "Well, think about it. Who's ever showed them?" And then it hit me, they've never had that. Like when you came, the year before you did one on Rico Ferrier. And the year before that you did one on Tim Rhodes. And the year before, you can go through the list of linemen we've had and guys we've had at Southwest. And, you grew up here. You can go through guys that are your age and older. They always had a group ahead of them show them the way. And I told them I got them all in. We got a flex time where I get them all in there and we work on leadership stuff. I said, you seniors have got to be the group that shows them the way. And it may not be, it's like the cornfield. You may not get to reap the fruit this year. You may not get to reap it, but you sow the seeds this year. And, you start refining that process down, and that's what we got to do. They got to show them the way, and what better time to do it, November Southwest football time.
Yeah,
records right. Go out the window. We live in November.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. All right.
One more question.
All right.
How many tank tops do you have?
Oh man. Well, here's the thing. So it depends on who gives it to me. Now, if it's if it's my mama, I keep the sleeves on it. My wife doesn't even buy me shirts anymore, because I just make tank tops. I just rip them off. And if it's a shirt that I'm not going to be, like I'll wear my Southwest gear. I got to kind of pick and choose. This is professional get up. This is the principal needs me to meet with him get up. After that, if it's just an impromptu, it's a cut off.
Nice.
Cole, is Coach one of those guys where he picks up a soda can? Let me just flex here, like
yes,
yes,
yes. He holds it a lot up.
Let me pick up this pencil. Yeah.
All right, man.
You knew we had to give you a hard time about it.
Hey, showing the way I grew up with Tommy Barnes and Coach Padgett pumping their, doing the running curls. You walked in there to interview him. You just know what I'm talking about.
That's funny. All right, rapid fire. Here we go. One word to describe this year's football team.
Passionate.
Most improved player since August.
Oh, man.
I know that might be a hard one.
You got to give me time on that.
All right.
Both sides of the ball. Give me on one side of the ball.
Both sides.
Both sides of the ball. That would have to be Caden Clark.
Okay. What's been the biggest growth moment for your team this season?
Trask win.
Harder. Calling plays on Friday night or managing everything that happens Monday through Thursday?
Friday nights are the final exams, so the teaching part.
Yeah.
Monday through Thursday.
The biggest lesson you learned from your mentors, Coach Padgett, Coach Dempsey, and or others?
Just be you.
Okay. If you had to suit up again for one drive, what position are you playing?
Oh, buddy. We're going to have to go defensive tackle.
All right. More pressure, snapping the ball in the 2012 state title game or coaching your first varsity game?
Well, luckily, I didn't have to snap the ball in 2012.
Oh,
I just
okay.
had to block.
Just had to block. Well, blocking on the offensive line or coaching that first varsity season?
Definitely coaching.
Coaching. All right. If you could bring back, and you may have done this, but if you could bring back one former Stallion legend to give a team pep talk, who would it be?
Oh, it'd be Phil Paget.
Phil Paget. Yeah, that's got to be a given, right?
That's a given.
That's kind of the captain obvious
Now,
question.
if Coach
right?
Paget was out surfing or golfing, you know, I'd have to go probably with Shaq Percy, my quarterback.
Yep. Okay. What's the best part about coaching where you once played?
Just getting to get that tradition going back and then seeing it kind of create its own identity again.
And last question. One word to describe Southwest Stallion football.
That's a tough one because I'm not going to use gritty.
No.
I would say, like I told the team, passionate.
Passionate.
You know, you look at the fans,
Passionate.
you look at the history, it's
Yeah.
passion.
Tradition. Yeah.
Passion.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Coach. Man, that's awesome. 2 great interviews. This portion of the show has been brought to you by Moore Buick Pontiac. I'm sorry, I got to take Pontiac out of it. Moore Buick GMC. At Moore Buick GMC, it's more than just selling cars. It's about serving our community. Right here in Jacksonville, Charles Williamson and his folks are proud to support local schools, charities, and events while helping families find the perfect Buick or GMC to fit their lifestyles. From rugged GMC trucks to luxurious Buick SUVs, you'll find a wide selection backed by friendly service you can trust. Whether you're buying, leasing, or servicing your vehicle, you'll always be treated like family. More Buick GMC, driven by community, powered by trust. Visit them today at their location on Highway 17 in Jacksonville or online at morebuickgmc.com. All right, man. Week 1 playoffs, right?
And one more thing about Southwest, we talked about pregame music. Southwest does have the best fight song in the area. Magnificent Seven.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
I don't think anybody can match their fight song. Of course, the scary thing is these kids probably don't know what Magnificent Seven is.
They never watched the movie.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. It's high school football playoff time. It's win and continue your season or lose and pack up your gear till next year. All the schools are 0-0. 10 area schools made let's see, of the area's 10 schools, 9 were awarded spots in the brackets. Croatan, East Duplin, Jacksonville, and Northside have first-round byes. Well, White Oak, Richlands, Dixon, Southwest, and Lejeune travel. All 5 schools are traveling for their opening round games. So we're going to start with number 18, White Oak, 4-6, at number 15, Eastern Guilford, who is also 4-6. Question to you: can White Oak finally turn its hard-fought efforts into a playoff win after a 2-decade drought?
I think they can. I think White Oak has seen it all throughout the season. They've seen the best teams. They've seen the best athletes. So they're not going to go into this game not, they know what to expect.
Yeah.
And they've seen everything, like I said. So I think they do have a chance to win. Again, I know it sounds like a broken record, and Coach Bird's probably tired of saying it. Can't fall behind early, but
Yeah.
I can see them taking an early lead and going back and forth against Eastern Guilford.
Number 21, Richlands, 4-6, at number 12, Havelock, 5-5. How much will Havelock's confidence from the Northside upset carry into this one?
Tremendously. I think Havelock has a lot of momentum going in. Coach thought he said Richlands was going to give him a little bit of a fight. I think it's going to be competitive early, maybe 14-7, something like that. But I think at the end of the day, Havelock's going to be a little too strong, and they will score a couple touchdowns late to pull away.
Okay. Number 22, Southwest, 2-7, at number 11, Southwest Edgecombe with a capital W, 5-5. Will the running back core of Southwest, including Tone Bolton, will that running ability be enough to keep the Cougars on their heels defensively?
Well, I think you guys have a chance if you take care of business. Don't eliminate the turnovers and the penalties. I think that's going to be a really good game. And if y'all play like you're supposed to, you have a chance to win the game. But you're going to have to you have to not make many mistakes.
That's right.
All right. Number 21, Lejeune, 1-9. And I'm so happy they're in the playoffs, but okay. At number 12, Northampton County, 3-7. Can Lejeune's Mahaffey to McKenna's combo create enough spark for an upset bid?
Maybe not enough spark for an upset win, but to score maybe once or twice. But I just think Northampton doesn't score a lot of points either. So I think 20-6, something like that's going to be a fair result.
Okay. And before we get in and look at the results and actually the game of the week as well, it's also championship week for Liberty Christian Academy. And I didn't put that in your predictions. You'll have to call that one out. But and it's been quite a turnaround for them. They started the season 0-2. They're in their third year of their program. They've won 6 in a row, and they've earned a rematch with Sand Hills Classical for the NCISAA. That's a long abbreviation. Christian Independent 8-man conference title. So we got Liberty Christian 6-2 at Sand Hills Classic 7-2. They're playing at Northmore High School. So from your perspective, what do you think changed after the 0-2 start that allowed Liberty Christian to turn things around and win 6 straight?
They weren't making the mistakes at the first game of the season. They had a pick 6 and some other turnovers and things like that. So we had the 2 Scott boys, Holden and Sawyer and great kids. They continue to be good playmakers on both sides. Eddie, the quarterback, continues to do well, and they have some physical guys on that team. I went to a practice and saw them, and they have some good talent over there. Nice. I think they have a chance to win. I think they have a chance to win Friday.
All right, so let's look at your results here. So you got Eastern Guilford beating White Oak 34-30. Havelock beating Richlands 42-17. Coach, he's got y'all 20 falling, but hey, man, I'm on the bandwagon. I'm all about the Southwest with the lower W in its name. And then you got Northampton 20, Lejeune 6. So let's go into the game of the week. And the game of the week is brought to you. We were talking about this. Funny thing, this is the only game where both teams have above 500 records, correct? So the game of the week is brought to you by Billy Sewell and Golden Corral. The game of the week is number 18 Dixon at 5-5, traveling to number 15 Rockingham, who is 5-4. And just a quick look, Dixon seeks its first playoff win in program history, kind of like Northside in soccer. JJ sitting at 2,709 rushing yards, has 33 touchdowns, needs less than 300 yards to reach 3,000 for a season. That's amazing, man. Both teams enter with winning records. The only first round matchup or local first round matchup, with everyone with winning records. Rockingham County has won 3 straight and tied for second in the mid-state 3A, 4A. They had 3A, 4A, and 5A. Yeah. Wow, triple split conference. Galette's performance will be the X factor. If he gets rolling, Dixon has a real shot. Single wing offense. Coach, you coach against single wing offense?
Well, and I was going to say, with his numbers, at this point in the season, everybody knows what they're going to do.
Yeah,
and the thing that, JJ gets all the credit as he should, but man, that offensive
the offensive line will say, yeah. Cole, remember the offense? They just don't think about it, man. They
are. And hats off to Coach Bobby and Coach Davis down at Dixon, because you get a guy with a chance of 3,000 yards. When's the last time that's happened?
Has it ever happened in Nassau County?
I don't think so. I don't think it's ever happened. And so, Coach, I think we asked all the coaches this: when are you guys going to go to the single wing?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, not. Dixon's defense must force turnovers and limit big plays to stay competitive, and field position and tackling discipline could determine late game momentum. So, question. How will Dixon's single wing offense hold up against Rockingham's strong defensive front?
Well, I think they'll have a chance to move the ball and have success. So I think JJ will have a chance to get close to that 300 milestone. But the key will be if they stop. They don't necessarily have to force turnovers, and they don't have to necessarily get 3 and outs. It'd be nice if they get turnovers to win the field position battle, but they need to force some punts.
Okay.
Maybe not every possession, but they need to force some punts and get multiple possessions.
Okay. Your prediction: Rockingham 40, Dixon 32.
Yeah.
Tight game. So that's a touchdown game. So that could go either way.
So I threw shade at all 5 local.
You threw shade at all 5. For the record, everybody watching, all I do is all I do is say what he writes, man. I'm all about off. No, you catch a lot of grief, but you know you're a pro at doing this, and people have to respect that. You call it like it is, and
again, it's all in fun.
It's all in fun.
And
That's
the
exactly
kids,
right.
The kids have fun with it. The coaches have fun with it. And if it motivates the kids, and Chris Miller picked us to lose by then I tell the kids and coaches all the time, hey, number one, I'm glad you read my story.
Yeah, exactly.
Number two, if that pumps you guys up, then
Absolutely.
great, awesome.
Last one, which I didn't put on here, Liberty and Sand Hills. What was your prediction?
I'm gonna go with the Heat, 28-20.
28-20. Yeah, going to bounce back and kind of.
And the interesting thing is, I did talk to Sean, Coach Sean Richmond. So next year, in years future, they will have a chance to make the independent playoffs.
Okay. Yeah.
So they have a chance maybe next year, the year before, or a year next to play the Heralds or not, or Randall Parrots and schools like that down the road in the playoffs.
Cool. All right. This week's game of the week and every game of the week has been brought to you by Golden Corral, the only one for everyone. Dig into Golden Corral's famous buffet with mouth-watering wings, boneless wings, and a variety of flavors. Save room for over 20 bakery and dessert selections from chocolate and carrot cake to apple pie and their legendary banana pudding. Listen, boys, you can go there all day and eat. Start your morning with breakfast at 7:30, brunch at 10, and dinner features carved meats at 4. And if you're a senior like me, you can go at early bird buffet with a beverage at 1 p.m. Need to feed a crowd? They cater from events from 100 to 1,000. Dine-in, takeout, drive-through, or delivery. It's all at Golden Corral. Voted Jacksonville's #1 buffet for 10 years by Chris Miller's employer, the Daily News Best of the Best. Call 910-455-3773 or visit goldencorral.com today. So again, Billy Sewell, thank you so much for all you do, for your sponsorship and sponsoring the game of the week. And we're going to have a few rapid fires for you. You ready? Get off your phone. You ready? I'm just messing with you. You ready?
Yep.
All right, here we go. Who has a bigger night, White Oaks QB Josh Smith or Eastern Guilford's balanced offense?
We'll go with Josh Smith.
All right. Which unit decides the game, White Oaks defense or Eastern Guilford's passing attack?
Ooh, White Oaks defense. If they play well, then they can have a chance. They'll have a chance.
Okay. Let's see. Havelock Richlands. Does Havelock QB Tucker Moore throw for 3 or more touchdowns again?
Yes, I think he does.
Can the Wildcats defense generate enough pressure to slow down the Rams' rhythm?
Enough to slow down. I just don't think they have enough to really slow them down. I mean, to stop them completely.
All right. Who wins in a mascot fight, the Wildcat or the Ram?
Oh, I don't know. Probably the Ram. I don't know. It's kind of.
I don't know. Coach, what do you think? Because you're a hunter, man. What do you think?
Well, I mean, are we talking about the animals, or are we talking about the people wearing the mask?
I lean to the animals
Okay,
themselves.
now I'm gonna go with the Wildcat.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Hey, don't ask that to Cam Newton. Did he get in a fight with the?
He did the other day in the race.
Yeah, you see that? Does J.J. Gallot's performance decide the Dixon game outright? Outright.
Outright, no.
Okay.
Dixon's defense has to decide it.
Which team wins the battle in the trenches, Dixon or Rockingham County?
Ooh, I think Dixon will win the trenches.
If Dixon wins, should they be renamed the single? Should they rename the single wing the JJ formation?
Oh, I mean, if they win, then anything else, he has a chance to be area player of the year, depending on how other players do.
All right. Speaking of that, more yards Friday night. More yards rushing. JJ Gallot or Josh Smith?
Oh,
What do you think, Coach? I want to get your thoughts on that.
I'm gonna go with JJ.
Okay.
JJ.
Stats?
JJ, for sure.
Cole?
JJ.
All right. Does Southwest score 20-plus points for the first time this season, or since earlier this season?
I think I picked them to lose 27-13, so I'm going to say
So
no.
you're saying no.
But
I say yeah, Coach.
But I hope they do.
Yep, okay. Who controls time of possession, the Stallions' ground game or Edgecomb's balanced attack?
Well, like I said, if they don't make the mistakes, I think they will have a chance to move the ball. But you're going to have to get in the red zone and take advantage.
Okay. Question for everybody, or question for the hunters and you. If both mascots race in 100 yards, who wins, the Stallion or the Cougar?
Kentucky Derby answers
All right.
that, man.
All right.
Stallions hand down.
All right.
Stallions.
Stallions. Okay. Stats.
Stallion.
All right. Does Lejeune reach double-digit points for the 4th straight game?
I think they have the chance to, but I'll say no since I have them losing 20-6.
Okay. Bigger factor in this one, Liberty Christian's momentum or the Sandhills Classicals experience?
Liberty's momentum.
All right. If the Heat are going to win the championship, what has got to go right early?
Take an early lead, get a stop, and see if you can go multiple scores.
All right. Anything else?
No, should be a lot of fun. I will be at the
Yeah, where are you going to be?
Richlands Havelock game because I'm going to be helping the New Bern paper for that. So it's just kind of weird not having a local team play at home and also at home on Friday night. And but again, we have 5 teams have first round buys, so I'm going to help out the New Bern paper on Friday. And
So you'll be there. Mm-hmm. I will be in the Dean Dome watching Carolina play Kansas in basketball, and then going to the Stanford Carolina game on Saturday. So I will be at no high school football games Friday. Sorry, but I will pull hard for Carolina.
But I have somebody keeping me.
You got stat? Yeah, y'all need to exchange phone numbers and get Preston to help you. So, Coach Cole, Preston, thank you guys so much. We appreciate you. I'm rooting for all you guys. I'm rooting for you and the things that you're going to do and change and get Southwest back to. I look and said, damn, Southwest beating them 35-0 or whatever. I'm looking forward to getting back to that. I appreciate you, man. I can't wait to see you. Full disclosure, I haven't watched you play football, but I've seen you throw the ball pitching, and I've seen you hit.
Nasty.
And good luck in football this week, but looking forward to spring and maybe watching you do some things on the baseball field. Preston, thank you, buddy, for joining me again. You have an open invitation. You text me yesterday and said, "Hey, man, can I come?" Just text me next time and say, "Hey, I'm coming." Just take that. You got an open invitation. You're a good kid, man, and I appreciate you showing interest in this stuff,
and
man.
you don't give those open invitations.
No, I don't give those open invitations at all, man. And so anytime that you want to come, man, you are more than welcome, and you are more than welcome to come and are invited. So that's going to wrap up the Down East Prep Report Show with Chris Miller, brought to you by Marine Federal Credit Union. Big thanks to Southwest Stallion head football coach Zach Garvey and senior standout Cole Jarman for some great conversation. And, of course, big thanks to Mr. Miller for breaking it all down. First round of playoffs and the recap of Week 11. Thank you to our show sponsor, Marine Federal Credit Union, where you're more than just a member. You're part of a community. Visit marinefederal.org or learn more and discover how Marine Federal Credit Union can help you build a better financial future. So little plugs. Tune in Sunday at 6 p.m. for me and the boys on the 2 Men to 6 Pack Sports Podcast, where we'll be talking Friday night results, college football action from the weekend, and episode or version 4 of the Mount Rushmore of sports dynasties, where we're going to be talking. We've covered NFL football, college basketball, and NBA. We're going to go over to baseball.
Your favorite sport.
Full disclosure, I'm not a big baseball guy.
I might need to be here for that
because I have ADD, and I just sometimes when you strike people out like you, it's just like you and the catcher. It's you and the catcher, and the other 7 players are just kind of standing around. It takes me back to kids' days when you're picking daisies out of things. So, I have ADD. But full disclosure, Sunday night, greatest dynasties of all time. Right off the top of my head, I'm thinking Yankees, Dodgers, Red Sox. Maybe somebody else. I don't know. But we'll see. So next time, same location, we'll have a full recap of the first round of playoffs this week. Our Player of the Week, brought to you by Down East Heating and Air, and a preview of the second round North Carolina High School State Playoffs. So for Chris Miller, I'm Steve Goodson. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you under the Friday Night Lights.